Welcome to a new video. Today, I'll tell you about the life of Christian of Denmark. On Tuesday, January 27th, King Frederick and Queen Mary of Denmark were received by Estonian Prime Minister Kristen Michael and his wife, Evelyn Oras, at the State House in the Baltic country. Therefore, in accordance with Danish royal protocol, Prince Christian assumed the role of head of state, as regent, during the King and Queen's state visit, which will continue until Wednesday, January 29th, and will also include a visit to neighboring Lithuania. When His Majesty the King is away from the kingdom, it is essentially His Royal Highness the Crown Prince who, as regent, assumes the role of head of state, the Danish royal house announced, explaining that in this instance, he will stand in for his father due to his commitments abroad. During the first day of this regency, the Crown Prince prepared documents for signature, including the confirmation of adopted bills. He did so during a press conference held this Tuesday at the Slagelse barracks, as reported by the Danish royal house. This is not the first time Prince Christian has assumed this role as the king's deputy in his father's absence. In 2024, just 2 weeks after Frederick ascended the throne, Christian of Denmark served as regent for 2 days due to his father's official trip to Poland. A few months later, in early 2025, his parents embarked on a private trip outside the borders of the Nordic country, making the Crown Prince, for the second time, temporarily head of state. Danish law stipulates that whenever the monarch is absent from the country, a regent must govern Denmark. Those eligible for this temporary position include Prince Christian, his mother, Queen Mary, as was the case in September 2024 when King Frederick X was on a private visit abroad, his grandmother, Queen Margrethe, and his aunt, Princess Benedict. Regents do not have the same powers as the monarch, although they can sign laws, hold audiences, and even appoint and dismiss ministers if necessary. These regencies are usually brief, but they prepare Prince Christian for his role as future head of state, allowing the heir to gradually acquire certain responsibilities. This is invaluable learning since, as Queen Margrethe stated on her 18th birthday, his destiny is written because he is a link in the long historical chain that has united our country for centuries. Last week we learned that the Crown Prince will serve in the Royal Guard, assuming a primarily military role, a stage he began in the Guard Hussars Regiment in February of last year. After completing his training as a lieutenant, which began in August 2025, Christian of Denmark will serve as a platoon commander of conscripted soldiers on active duty next summer, in August 2026, at the Guard barracks in Høvelt. That is why, in order to fulfill his role as regent, the Crown Prince, who is being trained to be a lieutenant, therefore took a break today between the day's exercises, the Danish royal house announced. In November 2023, Christian of Denmark swore allegiance to the Danish constitution in a historic ceremony before his grandmother, Queen Margrethe, and his father, King Frederick X, bringing together 3 generations of the same line of succession for the first time in the history of the monarchy. During the ceremony, held at Christiansborg Palace, he pledged to uphold the country's fundamental law, thus formalizing his commitment to royal duties. The Crown Prince expressed his commitment to upholding the Constitution, thus becoming the first adult heir to the throne in over a century to serve as regent. He has since fulfilled this role on more than one occasion, demonstrating his impeccable leadership skills. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be grateful for every like, comment, and especially subscription.